In 1979, the Skylab space station falls from orbit. It was crucial for scientific experiments, and while most of the debris burned up during re-entry, NASA managed to recover some pieces. They believed they had collected all the fragments, but they were wrong. The story then shifts to Western Australia, 18 years earlier. A biker in a desperate hurry stops at a station and frantically calls Dr. Hero Martin from a phone booth. She's currently in Italy. The man urgently tells her she needs to save them. Something has escaped from one of NASA's tanks and is killing people there. Just as he's about to reveal his exact location, the network connection cuts out. 27 hours later, Martin arrives at that location, where Officer Robert Quinn also shows up, along with Officer Trini from Romania. Trini asks how Skylab could be causing problems now, when it already fell back in 1979. Martin explains that along with the tanks, a parasite was also sent, one capable of adapting to any environmental condition. This parasite had fallen here, along with a storage tank. She mentions that since arriving, they haven't seen anyone outside their homes. They put on hazmat suits, activate their body cameras, and begin moving forward. They start searching the nearby houses, but don't find any people. As they continue forward, Dr. Martin spots the fallen tank and warns the other two to stay away from it. Dr. Martin begins inspecting the tank with her instruments, while Robert suggests they maintain a perimeter so no one gets too close. When Dr. Martin spots the parasite, she observes it's growing at an alarmingly rapid rate. Meanwhile, on the other side, Trini discovers a human corpse. As Robert and Dr. Martin climb up to examine it, at that very moment, the parasite latches onto Martin's boots and starts penetrating inside. When they reach the top, they see a body that has been completely destroyed, as if it had burst open. Robert notices something else. They see bodies scattered across the rooftops of houses. Dr. Martin explains that this is exactly how pathogenic fungi infect bodies, taking complete control and multiplying inside until they burst the body open. Suddenly, that body's head explodes and they begin to leave that place. However, Dr. Martin stops to collect a sample of the parasite, but the parasite stuck to her feet starts entering her body through her heels and mixes with her blood cells. As they're leaving, Dr. Martin starts feeling something strange. She's beginning to lose consciousness. Robert starts to sense that something is happening to Martin. The pathogenic fungus spreads rapidly through Dr. Martin's body and begins controlling her nervous system. Dr. Martin suddenly rushes to the van and tries to shoot Trini, but Robert saves her. Martin then grabs Trini's gun and is about to shoot Trini when she manages to control herself and shoots herself instead. After this, the military arrives and takes the samples to Atchison Mines, where U.S. military security was stationed. The soldiers transport the samples into the mines, where an underground facility had been built. They hand the samples over to scientists, who carefully extract them and place them in cold storage, along with other samples. With this, several years pass, and the military security is eventually withdrawn from there. On the other side, we see Travis driving his car to work at the same location, which has now become a storage facility. His friend Griffin, who handles the store during nighttime, tries to convince Travis to help him steal, saying he can't do all this without his help. Then he leaves. After he leaves, Travis is walking around reading a book. He's visible on CCTV to Naomi, who works there. At this time, an elderly woman named Annie comes to retrieve something from her storage room. She tells Travis that today is her anniversary, and she's come to collect some things. Travis sends her down to the storage room in the elevator. There, Annie becomes very emotional looking at her husband's photograph. She takes his gun and tries to shoot herself, but the gun doesn't fire. She puts on his jacket and falls asleep right there. Meanwhile, Travis is listening to music on his headphones when he thinks he heard something. He comes outside to check, but doesn't see anything. Then he asks Naomi over the microphone to come check. She also starts looking for the sound, but doesn't see anything either. Travis introduces himself by the name T. Keg and keeps rambling on, where Naomi understands that his name was based on a famous book. At this moment, she receives a call, which makes her quite angry. After the phone call, she introduces herself to Travis, and then she notices a tattoo on Travis's hand. Just then, she also hears that sound. Meanwhile, in North Carolina, Robert is sleeping when he receives a call where someone talks to him about 1979. On the other side, both of them hear a sound coming from the other side of a wall. Travis wants to break through this wall to see what's there. Naomi also wants to see what's behind it, and she says she'll help him patch it up afterward. Robert receives a call from one of his security team members. With the sudden change in weather, Robert remembers an old danger. He explains that he wrote a memo about this in 2007 and gave warnings several times afterward, but each time he was ignored. Now when he learns that the alert came at exactly 3:14, he understands that time is running very short. He says he's near Seymour Johnson and can reach there in an hour and a half, but preparations need to be made in advance. Robert makes it clear that this isn't any ordinary warning, but rather an extraordinary and rapidly spreading threat that cannot be stopped without complete equipment and authorization. Abigail's name comes up in the conversation, and Robert reminds her that they sacrificed years of their personal lives just so they could do the right thing for their country. Abigail agrees with Robert's points and tries to fulfill all his equipment demands. On the other side, Travis and Naomi break through the wall and go inside, where they see all the equipment that was used to control this chamber. Naomi has knowledge about this equipment, which impresses Travis quite a bit. They also find a map and discover this used to be a military base. Naomi is very excited to see the labs that are below and tries to convince Travis. Travis agrees to look cool, but after coming outside, he says that he always says yes to people in conversations and then gets into trouble, and he needs time to think because he has to go down into that bunker. He prepares himself, and both are about to go down when a car arrives and checks the store, leaving quite frustrated. Naomi and Travis go down and enter that chamber. Suddenly warning lights start flashing, but both of them keep moving forward where they see masks and other electronics lying around. Just as they're looking at the PPE kits, they see an opening in that place and see stairs going down inside, which is quite deep. Travis starts going down first. Outside, Naomi's husband calls her with suspicion. He says there's something in his car and he's coming over. Just then he hears some sound from the car's trunk and is shocked when he opens the trunk. There's a cat that he had shot, but now that cat is overtaken by the fungus. The man follows it and sees the cat climb up an antenna and burst at the top, where its blood falls on the man and other animals too. It starts entering their bodies as well. Travis reaches the bottom, and Naomi does too, and both move forward in that tunnel. Travis learns that Naomi is a mom with 2 children. They find a door which states that only DTRA can access this door, but Travis ignores it and opens it. Inside is pitch darkness, and both see it's a cold storage room. They see another door ahead, and there they see many mice that have fallen victim to that fungus. Seeing this, Travis gets quite scared, because these mice look very strange. Naomi sees behind that door where the fungus is spread extensively. She's about to touch that fungus with her hand, but Travis stops her, and both leave. Outside, her husband becomes a victim of the fungus, and his entire nervous system and body are now in the fungus's control. He is about to take a gun from inside the car and head toward the store, when a deer also starts going inside with him. Robert is on a plane, watching the video from that day when Martin became a victim of the fungus. Robert is heading to that place which Abigail had arranged. He calls her, where he learns that his boss Craig had died a year and a half ago. At that time, Abigail's boss Greg asks her to merge Robert's call, where Greg tells Robert to dismiss this mission because he thinks they had secured that sample. But Robert says that due to climate change, the ground and surface climate are changing, helping that fungus grow. At that moment, Abigail steps outside and calls Robert from her private cell, where Robert says he can't call because of Wi-Fi and will have to call this way. He tells Abigail to call Trini, who will help him. At that moment, Greg comes there, and Abigail pretends she's on a call with family. On the other side, Naomi sees that DTRA used to handle this, and she sees that strange deer on the stairs and follows it, where she sees it using the elevator. Years ago, that fungus came out and was infecting everything, and a few hours earlier, it infects a cockroach which goes on to infect mice. Then that cockroach, going through tunnels, dies under Naomi's husband's car a few minutes earlier, infecting the cat inside his car. Realizing the danger, Naomi and Travis start to leave when that deer comes out and is about to attack them when it explodes. Naomi's husband arrives, who is a victim of the fungus, and tells Naomi that she killed his tat. They understand from his behavior that he's also dead, and he starts firing bullets at them. Down below, Anna, who is sleeping, wakes up. These two run into storage lockers to escape from Naomi's husband. They run, but meet him face to face, and just as he's about to find them, Travis opens a locker and both hide inside it. But they can't pull the shutter all the way down and wait for him to leave. Then, something falls down, but before checking it, Travis picks it up and he leaves. But as soon as both get up, Travis accidentally knocks down things around him, making a lot of noise. And Naomi's husband comes near and is about to open the shutter, but both of them close it shut. Robert meets Trini, where she tells him they still need to pick up item 7, and they leave. Abigail informs Robert about Naomi's emergency call and adds her to Robert's call, where Naomi tells them about the fungus, the deer, and her husband. Robert tells them to stay right there, and under no circumstances should they call others, and tells them not to come in contact with that fungus. Travis says these are all zombies who only need to expand, and if nothing is done, they'll infect many people. At that moment, sounds of vehicles start coming from above. But Travis understands this isn't military, but rather Griffin and his accomplices who came to loot the store. All those people enter the store, where they see that dead deer, and seeing this, Griffin thinks Travis alone took all the goods. They go down to steal all the TVs when one of the women feels something strange. Robert and Trini reach Trini's house to get that item 7, where they find item 7 in a trunk. Just as they're about to leave, Anthony, Trini's son, wakes up and points a gun at them. Trini had never told him about this, and he's quite confused. Coming outside, Trini gives Robert the car keys and says she's not going to get involved in all this. She barely survived last time and says she still hasn't forgotten about Dr. Martin. In the cold storage room, Travis wants to save the people above, while Naomi is refusing. Travis says he doesn't want to lose this job and doesn't want to bring his life into trouble again. Hearing this, Naomi thinks and says you're not that boring either and supports him. Above, those people are loading TVs. Below, Naomi's husband is roaming around and goes near those people where they think he's infected. But suddenly he starts vomiting on them and closes the locker shutter. Just as he's about to attack Travis and Naomi, Annie shoots him, and at that moment, he explodes in a blast. Robert calls Abigail and says a storm is coming, and if it comes in contact with water, it will spread like fire, so Robert needs an airfield. Abigail says she has a friend she knows. Robert says they should also detect infected people. In the store, Travis takes Annie's gun and gets her outside. Meanwhile, the Reverend abandons Griffin. Griffin points a gun at Travis. Just then sounds start coming from the shutter, and Griffin tells Travis to open that shutter or he'll shoot him. Just as Travis goes to open the shutter, Naomi attacks Griffin with an extinguisher. Travis and Naomi both start running and come outside where they see Robert. Below, Griffin goes to get his keys. Robert prepares to go down and says they're now his team and gives them PPE kits. He shows them the bomb with which he's going to blow up this place from underground. Robert says they'll only have 9 to 16 minutes to get out, and says they'll try to escalate killing all the infected organisms above by staying up top. Below, the infected people come out. Dr. Friedman falls on that fungus and gets infected, where his friend Cuba dies in a blast. Naomi and Travis put on PPE suits and go down, and Robert punctures that vehicle's tire. Just as Friedman comes up, Abigail informs Robert through thermal camera, and Robert shoots him down. Below, both Travis and Naomi go to that place again and start lowering that bomb down. Griffin can't stay outside with those infected people. Outside, Robert can't get up because of his back, and he blows up the bike with bullets. Below, both Travis and Naomi enter that chamber and see the entire room is infected, and if they don't act, it will reach the nearby river and infect it. They extract the bomb, activate it, and start going up. On the surface, Friedman's stomach bursts and his fungus moves toward Robert. Below, Travis and Naomi have less time, and the fungus is rapidly advancing toward Robert. At that very moment, he kills that infected man. Travis and Naomi have only 3 minutes left to escape, and due to a glitch, the time comes down to 1 minute. Griffin hides from Robert and moves forward, but his friend gets up and kills him. He comes outside and is about to kill Robert when Trini arrives there and kills Griffin. Just as Travis and Naomi are coming out, they encounter an infected woman, and Naomi kills her. Both come out to Robert and Trini, take Robert, and start moving away. As the timer runs out, a massive blast occurs which destroys the entire store and the place below it. The ground beneath those people starts collapsing, but Naomi keeps driving the car and they escape. A huge crater forms at that place, and Abigail is watching all this. The media starts questioning Greg about this incident, and allegations are also made against Robert. Abigail comes to meet him, where she reveals her real name is Shalene, and thanks him for showing her of her purpose. Travis spends time with Naomi and her daughter, and tells her the real story of his name, only to Naomi. Travis and Naomi fall in love. Meanwhile, in the forest, this fungus continues to grow in the deer population.